My childhood hero was always my older brother, Daniel. We lived in a pretty rough area, and like many youth his age, Daniel joined a neighborhood gang by the time he was 15. And as is the case with younger sisters who idolize their older brothers, I found myself wanting to hang out with Daniel. However, if there were any gang members around, Daniel would yell, "Get out of here." Naturally upset, I'd retreat to my bedroom and cry for hours. You see, Daniel wasn't one for over-emoting sentimental statements. I can only assume he didn't want to chip away at the facade of his tough guy image. But one night, Daniel came into my room and he told me that when he yells at me to get out of here, what he's really saying is, "I love you." He said it would be our special secret. The dictionary definition of a brother is a man or boy in relation to other siblings, sons and daughters of his parents. But everyone who has a brother or another close family member has their own definition that describes their own unique relationship. Well, for this 16-year-old girl, her definition is a best friend. Someone who looks out for you in unconventional ways. A true childhood hero. Well, when things turn for the worst, she has to prepare to deal with the fact that her childhood hero will soon be gone. She has to prepare to become The Witness by Shannon Cartwright. Anyone who knows anything about gangs knows that being in one has risks. You might as well have a tattoo across your forehead that says, "I'm looking for trouble." Daniel and his friends didn't have tattoos, but trouble found them anyway. At first it was just petty shoplifting, but then things escalated. Daniel and his friends tried to rob a convenience store. The store owner had a pistol and was going to shoot them, so Daniel somehow wrestled the gun away from the store owner, and in a panic, he killed him. Daniel and his friends were arrested, and their trial was set for 3.5 months later. During the trial, when the guards were about to take him, Daniel would look at me and say, "Get out of here." I'd look back at Daniel, mouth the words, "I love you too." During the prosecuting phase of the trial, the prosecuting attorney would bring Daniel's accomplices in. And in exchange for a lesser sentence, they testified that Daniel's actions were premeditated. They said he had boasted that he would take care of it. And this, coupled with the fact that protesters outside of the courthouse were demanding stricter penalties for death, somehow justified the judge sentencing Daniel to death for first-degree murder. Daniel was then sent to the state penitentiary and placed on death row. During one visit, he asked me if I'd be willing to witness his execution. He told me that at any time I could change my mind and he would understand, but this wasn't an option. He had chosen me to be in attendance, and I was willing to be a witness at his execution. Being there for him would be the last gift I could give him. On the day of Daniel's execution, we were each allowed a supervised visit with Daniel. Mother went first. When she came back, she was crying and she couldn't speak. I wanted to stay there and comfort her, but it was my turn to see Daniel. The guards took me past several barred doors to a room where Daniel was. There About 2 feet from the bars was a line on the floor. There were 2 guards, and they told me I couldn't cross the line and I couldn't touch my brother. Daniel immediately wanted to know how Mom was holding up. She's torn up. I then asked how Daniel's doing. He said, okay. He then asked me what I had planned for the summer. I told him I had just been cast as the lead in The Diary of Anne Frank. He jokingly told me to take a look around. He said that being a prisoner in an attic wasn't too far removed from being a prisoner on death row. He then started talking about faith. He said it's amazing how Anne Frank never lost her faith in all of the face of her adversity. See, Daniel had a strong sense of God's forgiveness. He had expressed sorrow for all his sins, and he'd apologized to the family. There was nothing more for him to do. By the time with Daniel was over, the guards took me down a long hallway to the window where we would witness Daniel's execution. There were many chairs set up in a row. Daniel had these large leather straps securing his shins, his thighs, his waist, and his chest. He still managed a small wave with his left hand. Warden then told Daniel to proceed with his final comments. It's amazing to me that the warden never took his eyes off the floor, even though Daniel was no more than a few inches from him. Daniel then said, told Mom she was the best mom he could have ever had. He loved her with all of his heart. He then told me to buy him a ticket for opening night. He said that even though the seat might look empty, he would be the one leading the standing ovation. He then told us not to cry for him. He was finally going home. It was difficult to tell when the injections began. All of a sudden, Daniel started coughing. He seemed to be convulsing. He was gagging, straining against the straps that could bind him. Finally, he stopped and was still. Mother broke the silence. He looked so peaceful. He's in a better place. I couldn't believe what I had just witnessed. The guards escorted us out of the prison parking lot, where a bunch of news people stood at the front of the prison. It took every ounce of strength I had not to break down right then and there. Calmly, I said, the crime that landed my brother Daniel on death row was not the entirety of his life. My brother was a lot more than that one act. He was funny and thoughtful. He was a friend, a brother, and a son. And tonight my brother Daniel died with dignity and courage in the face of terror, and I know this to be true because tonight I was the witness. My brother was my childhood hero. And although I know the reporters assumed I was speaking to them, I paused. I looked up at the stars and said, "Get out of here."